Katawa Shoujo is a very long visual novel. It will take you 35 plus hours to finish reading every line and dialogues the novel has to offer. So that's why I am here to remove that burden on you. Hello, I am Raffy and I am here to retell the events that took place on this novel as concise as possible. Welcome to Raffy Do Recap. Before I start telling the story, I will set some limitations on this video. In this video, we only talk about Act 1 of the novel. Katawa Shoujo has two parts, the first act and the girls' route. The first act will branch into 5 girls' routes, and each route has 3 acts. To make this video simple, I decided to retell the first act only. I will make a separate recap video for each girl's routes. I will not include the exclusive scenes and tangents on this video. The first act has many scenes that are exclusive to a girl's route. You can activate it by making a choice that is in favor of the girl that you are targeting. Because of this, every playthrough has a different story. To make this not complicated, I will only retell the main events on Act 1. I will include the exclusive scenes in the recap video of each girl's route. And that's the limitations of this video. So now, sit tight and tackle your seatbelt. And this will be a long ride. I will now bring you to the world of Katawa Shoujo. Katawa Shoujo starts with the protagonist Hisao waiting in the park. He receives a note on his book telling him to meet them there. Few minutes had passed and a girl came. Her name is Iwanako and she was there to confess her love to him. As Hisao waits for her to utter her confession, his heart pounds too hard that he collapsed. He was admitted to a hospital and was confined there for the next 4 months. One day, his doctor advised him to study at Yamaku Academy. This is a school that caters to students with disabilities. Hisao's parents supported this idea, but Hisao himself does not like it. He can't accept the fact that he became a disabled person. Even though that's the case, he decided to study on Yamaku, believing that it will be a fresh start for him. Act 1 starts with Hisao starting his first day on Yamaku. As he went to his classroom, he met his homeroom teacher, Akio Muto. He told Hisao that he needs to meet the school nurse after the class. He then asked if he wants to introduce himself to the class. Then the first round will appear in the game. If you pick yes, Hisao will introduce himself. If you pick the other option, Muto will introduce for him instead. Regardless of what you pick, Hisao will meet Misha and Shizume. During their conversation, Misha gave Hisao a nickname, Hichan. She named him that because he looks like a Hichan. What is a Hichan, you ask? No one knows. The two invited Hisao to have lunch with them. As they eat their lunch, the two told him that he can ask them any question. 3 options will appear. You can pick any of these options, but take note that your choice can affect the second part of the novel. After the class, Misha told Hisao that they can go with him to show him around Yamaku since they had a lot of things to do. He asked the duo about the location of the clinic, which two answered him. Hisao went to the clinic where he meets the nurse. The nurse orients him about the different facilities at the academy. He told him that he can contact them anytime since their office is open 24/7. He advised him to do light exercises and take his medication. After the orientation, he went to his room where he met Kenji. A little conversation occurs between them. After that, he went inside his room and he found a note from his parents telling him that they already unpacked his things and contact them if he had any problems. To fight his boredom, Hisao decided that he will go to the library tomorrow to read some books. He then drinks his medicine and went to sleep. The next day, Hisao wonders if there are any clubs on Yamaku. During the class, he asked Misha and Shizume about school club. Misha answered that there are clubs on Yamaku. He then started to talk about their school festival. She encouraged Hisao to help, in which Hisao agreed. During their conversation, Hisao noticed that Shizume and Misha shares a suspicious glimpse. During lunchtime, Misha asked Hisao about his interests. He replied that he likes to read books. He told him that there's a book club on Yamaku but it is not accepting any new members. After that, Chizune and Misha started to do their move. They invited Hisao to join the student council, which he immediately refused. The two started doing the tricks on their slaves to make Hisao join the council. They offered him to play a game such as paper football, where if he loses, he will join the council. He realized it's a trap and refused to play it. Chizune then suggested playing Risk instead. He accepted it even though he doesn't know how to play it, and obviously, he lost. The duo asked Hisao once again, and he answered that he will think about it. After the game, Hisao went to the library, but instead, he went to the wrong room. There, he met Lily. Hisao apologized for intruding and explained that he is lost. Lily invited him to have a seat and offered him tea. At this point, he realizes that Lily is blind. They have a little conversation and they lost track of time. Hisao realizes it, that's why he told Lily that he needs to go to the library. Lily apologized for delaying him. She offers to guide him to the library since she has a business to attend to. The two now went to the library. In the library, Hisao met Yuko. Lily and Yuko have a conversation while Hisao went to the aisle to look for books. There, he noticed that a girl sitting on a beanbag is looking at him. He decided to sit beside her and introduce himself. The girl told him he already knows him because they are in the same class. She then introduced herself as Hanako. After that, an awkward silence envelops the room. The two try to look at each other, but when their eyes meet, Hanako suddenly stands up. She told him that she needs to go because she needs to do something. Then she runs away. Hisao tries to go after her, but he lost her. He then asked Lily and Yuko if they saw a girl with a purple hair running. Lily realized that he was referring to her friend Hanako. She excused herself and apologized to the two. She told him that she will look for her and then leaves. Yuko asked her what he did to her. Hisao explained the situation. She then told him that Hanako is a very timid girl and she advised him to be careful around her. Hisao told her that it is strange to not noticing the disability of his classmate. Yuko told him that it is only strange if you think it is strange. Hisao agreed to her. He then borrowed the books that he found and went back to his room. As he went back to his room, he found Kenji. He asked Hisao who he is and asked for proof that he is the real Hisao. After looking closely at his face, Kenji realizes that he is the real Hisao. He then asked him if he is okay. Hisao explained about what happened in the library and to the girl he met. Kenji asked if this girl is cute. Whatever you pick, Kenji will still explain to you his feminist conspiracy theory. Hisao didn't understand it, and even I don't understand what he is talking about. Hi, what a strange kid. The next day, Hisao asked the duo about Hanako. Misha told him that she is always like that. He told them that he wants to invite Hanako on their group, but Chizune refused. She told him, through Misha of course, that the friend of her enemy is her enemy too. At this point, a problem will pop up. The choices you made before will determine who you will have lunch with. It's either Lily and Hanako or Chizune and Misha. The current prompt will determine if you will go with it or not. Whatever you choose, Hisao will still meet Emi. He will bump on his chest as he went out to the classroom. That bump triggers his heart to beat regularly, but fortunately, it returned to normal. Emi apologizes, then she runs again because she needs to meet her teacher. After the class, Hisao was left alone in the classroom with Muto. Muto noticed him and asked if there's something wrong. He answered that he doesn't know what to do after the class. He also explained that he considers joining school class but he doesn't know if he will enjoy it. His teacher advised him to try observing on a club meeting because it might spark his interest. He then explained that he doesn't know how to interact with other students. He is bothered with their disabilities and he thinks he is being impolite if he will not notice it. Moto advised him to interact with them like how you interact with a normal person. Hisao knows that, but he is having a hard time not noticing it. His teacher is trying to say something to him, but he was interrupted when someone barged in. It was Misha. Muto reminded her to control her boredom, but Misha didn't find it. She requested for materials for the festival stall. He told her to look at the art room, but she replied that she needs plywood, but the students in the art room already use it. Then asked where she can get it, which Muto answered he didn't know. Misha ranted that it is not her duty to look for materials because there is a lot of things they need to do. Muto smiled and he told Misha that it looks like she needs someone to help her. And then Hisao notices that Muto is referring to him. That is why he offers Misha that he will help her. Misha gladly accepts the offer and she gave him a list of the materials they need. Misha thanked him and then she leaves the classroom to look for plywood. Muto then told him that now he has something to do. Hisao went to the art room where he saw a girl eating her lunch using her feet. He noticed that this girl has no arms and was looking at him. Hisao then says hello to the girl and explained that he needs to get some supplies. The girl then introduced herself as Rin. She told Hisao that the supplies are on the back of the room. Rin wondered why Hisao is onyamak. For her, he looks fine on the outside. Hisao tried to answer the question but Rin interrupts him. She told him that she will guess it because she is good at it. She thinks that it is impossible on the head and on the gut. That is why she concluded that it was on his pants. Very nice ring. Hisao was surprised at her conclusion, and he explained that it was his heart. Rin was disappointed when she hears it. She thinks it will be very cool if the problem was in his pants. What the fuck? Hisao then gathers the supply and leaves the art room. He was surprised when he found out that Misha and Shizune were outside the room. They already found the plywood and they are now waiting for the materials. He apologized and told them he got the materials. Then Shizune looked inside the art room. Then she saw a girl sleeping and she angrily looked at Hisao. Rin went outside the room and greeted the two. Shizune started doing sign languages, telling her that don't sleep there. Shizune then asked her through Misha if she can finish her project this weekend. Rin answered she doesn't even know if she can even finish it. Shizune told him to take it seriously and it will be a huge problem if she can finish it. Rin told her that she will think about it. Shizune shakes her head and then walks away. Rin said that they are rude, yet they are correct. Because of that, she decided to finish her project. She then asked Hisao to help her carry the things, in which he did. On their way to Rin's project, they meet the nurse. The nurse told Hisao that he forgot to tell him that he will have a regular physical exam. He then asked if he is exercising because according to his spine, he is not doing it. Hisao lied by telling him that he is doing some weightlifting. The nurse noticed this and reminded him to take this seriously. He told Hisao to go to the school track tomorrow and do some jogging. He also added that he will meet there his spine. After the talk with the nurse, the two went to Rin's project. Hisao learned that Rin is doing a mural for the school festival. He asked Rin how she painted the mural. She confidently told him that she did it using her feet. Rin then asked Hisao to help her in mixing the paint, and Hisao spent his whole afternoon helping Rin on her mural. The next day, Hisao went to the school track. He saw Emi there, jogging around the school track. Hisao remembered that the nurse told him that he will meet her his spine. Emi noticed Hisao and she approached him. He asked Emi about it and she answered that the nurse just asked her a few questions. He then asked what she is doing here. She told him that she is here to train. The two then started to jog around the track, and after a few laps, Hisao got tired and decided to stop. This surprised Emi and she asked him why. Hisao explained that his body is not in good condition to do jogging. Emi understands it and she said that it is fine. Hisao told her he will go back to his room to prepare for the class. Hisao takes a bath before going to class. After his bath, he saw a figure behind the steam. It was Kenji, and he is asking him if he can borrow money to buy for a pizza. Hisao lends him his money so he can go back to his room. Hisao came to the class too early, that is why there is no student in the room. She then saw Lily on the door. Hisao greeted Lily and she asked Hisao if he saw Hana. Hisao told her that he hasn't seen her. Then suddenly the duo went inside the classroom. Hisao and Lily greeted the two. Hisao and Lily talked about the budget report. The two had a heated argument about it. A prompt will pop out where you need to pick a sign. This choice will determine whether you will spend the day helping Hisao or Lily in preparing for the school festival. The next day, Emi will invite you for lunch on the rooftop. Actually, there is a scene before this, but you will only trigger it if you answer yes on the nurse's question. During the lunch, Hisao will learn that Emi and Rin are friends. He will also discover how the two met. After 2 days, the school festival has started. The choices you made on this act will determine who you will spend your time with at the festival. There are 6 possible scenarios for the festival, and each scenario will tell you which route you are locked into. The purpose of Act 1 is to introduce the characters and give the reader an idea about the world of Katawa Shoujo. This also serves as a basis in which girl's route you are going to read in the next half. So my advice for the people who want to try this novel is to be careful in picking your choices, especially in this act. You can easily determine in which girl the option in favor of, but still be careful. There is a certain point in this act where if you pick that specific option, you are automatically locked on a certain girl's route, regardless of what you picked before that scene. So that's my recap for Act 1. I plan to do a recap for each girl's route, but I will save it for my future videos. That's why consider subscribing to my video and turn on the notifications so you will be notified upload those videos. And don't forget to press the like button if you enjoy watching my video. So that's it for now. See you in the next video.